Yeah, I'm really disgusted by all of it. You know what it feels like? Do you know what it feels like to find out that a whole bunch of doctors were harming you for a long time? Do you know what that feels like? That betrayal of trust? And some of them are looking down at you like you're pathetic and, you're mentally ill when they're misdiagnosing your physical issues as mental illness. And they're actively harming you with countless medications, and you're struggling to breathe. They're refusing to diagnose the respiratory issues, refusing to give you proper referrals, right? I would say to my doctor, my body doesn't want to breathe at night. My body wants to quit. There's something wrong. Something is killing me. Year after year. Then he would look at me sad and smile. And then it got so bad that I couldn't drive anymore. And okay, so I had a long-time doctor that I really loved. Everybody loves this guy. He's just awesome. He's cool. He's awesome. It's like you feel like this guy could be your brother or something. Cool, good-looking guy. Everybody loves this guy. And he was misdiagnosing me. He was my family doctor. Psychiatry was misdiagnosing me. I became so ill that I couldn't go to drive to his office anymore, about 10 miles away. I was too impaired to drive to the office. And so I had to look. I was too impaired because of severe sleep deprivation and misdiagnosis, just exhaustion. And so I had to find a doctor who lived close by. So when I couldn't drive anymore. And so I found a doctor about a mile and a half away. And that's just a pretty safe, tiny drive over to see him. And so he was my doctor for years, and he misdiagnosed me for years. And I became so ill that I couldn't drive most of the time anymore. So he was coming to my house and delivering pills to my house in little baggies. And I'm looking at this guy thinking, you know what? Either he's really nice and going out of his way and really kind and he cares about me, or there's something really wrong with this whole scenario. Something very, very wrong with this guy delivering pills to my house, and yet I'm somehow not getting any real help. And I'm telling him, when I get into bed, I can't breathe anymore. My body doesn't want to breathe. Like something is killing me. There's something happening to me when I'm asleep. And no referrals. He would just look at me sad. And I just continued to decline. And when doctor after doctor after doctor has no answer and they're looking at you sad, well, you think you're dying of something some rare thing. They knew I had Chiari. I didn't know what Chiari was. So the sleep apnea misdiagnosed for decades. I was on CPAP for 7 years faithfully. I didn't sleep. I remained severely sleep deprived, begging for help the whole time. Yeah, it's just bloody brutal knowing that, you know what, they were all wrong. And I'm certain nowhere in my medical records does it state, yeah, she was right. There's all these derogatory comments, probably, that I'm delusional, that I'm this, I'm that, I'm the problem. I'm a problem patient. Because I ask questions, because I will speak up for myself. I had 3 hours of sleep last night. I'm struggling to breathe. I could collapse. So had I not weaned off the medications, I'd be long dead. Long dead. When I was with that last long-time family doctor that was driving to my house, delivering sleeping pills to my house, my respiratory depression was much, much worse than it is now. They're prescribing, multiple doctors were prescribing me multiple sleeping pills and multiples of each. And I'd be long dead had I not started to wean off all the medications. I'd be dead for more than 10 years. I'd be dead for 10, 15 years already had I not gotten off the medications. Two doctors overdosed me multiple times. This one guy that I got that record today, pharmacy record, he would have killed me. And the other ones, well, I dodged those bullets. I survived all the overdoses. Multiple benzos, gabapentin, opioids, multiple sleeping pills, all at the same time. It's quite the thing, knowing how many times you've been harmed, how many doctors got it wrong. And you know what? You'll end up the bad guy. They're not going to apologize. They're not going to... No one wants to admit what happened. But you know what? I've got my pharmacy records, 20 years of pharmacy records, and you can't deny that. And over again. You know what? Can doctors be delusional that you're delusional? Well, absolutely they can be. Absolutely. When someone's delusional, they 100% believe something and you can't shake them out of that belief. If you're, psychotic and you believe you're Jesus Christ, nobody's going to talk you out of it. You're delusional. If a doctor believes that you're not sleeping because of anxiety or PTSD, if they absolutely believe that, you're not going to shake them out of that. And even despite you're saying, there's something wrong when I'm asleep. I'm being misdiagnosed. There's something physically wrong with me. Can your family members, can your loved one's doctor be delusional that your family member is delusional? Yes. Doctors make mistakes often enough. And what makes it worse for patients is when you're on medications, when you're on antidepressants, when you're on anti-anxiety drugs, when you're on sleeping pills. People, that makes you look worse. That makes you look like you may not have credibility. That's awful to say, but it's absolutely true. If you go into the ER and beg for help for your sleep, or you're meeting more and more doctors, you're finding more and more doctors, you're begging them for help, and they see the long, dirty laundry list of drugs that you're on, it's easy to disbelieve somebody who's on a whole pile of drugs. And there was no way out. There was no way out except to try to carefully wean off of everything. And there's no one to tell you that. There's no one to guide you through that. There's no one to help you. There's no one to suggest that to you, that maybe you'll get help if you get off all the drugs. And I was being told I had to stay on all the drugs forever, that they were keeping me alive, which was totally the opposite. They were harming me. And then you're on all these medications and you're telling friends or family you're being misdiagnosed. And they know that you're on medications. And how many people are going to believe that you're right and all the doctors are wrong? You have to have a really smart family member or spouse who's going to believe you and stick by your side. My guys, both my guys, go ahead. They knew that I was sick. They would have stuck by my side, but they both passed away. They would have stuck through this with me, and I probably would have gotten diagnosed sooner. Maybe, probably. But my family, most people don't have good discernment. Yeah, you know what? It's an isolating thing when this happens to you. People don't want to believe that you could be failed to this level. People don't want to apologize for disbelieving you or not fighting for you. People don't want to apologize for not sticking by your side when you're fighting for your life. People drift away because you've been declining for years and years and years. People drift away and move on with their life. You know what? If I was healthy, I would just move on with my life. But you know what? I could just collapse. I'm so tired and I'm struggling to breathe. CPAP wasn't the solution. So now I'm wondering if a trach, and the whole system is resistant to doing a trach. Because so many doctors contributed to misdiagnosing me, and all of everything that's in my medical records works against me. You don't end up the hero in your medical records when, more than 20 doctors have misdiagnosed you. They're not going to admit that. Anyways, spring is springing here. It's melting. There's something wrong with my legs. My legs are numb when I walk. My thighs are completely numb. It's difficult to walk. I just washed my face, and the fingers on my left hand were purple. I couldn't turn the camera on fast enough. All sorts of things wrong from my medication injury. I think there's nerves being compressed in my spine, affecting my arms, or a nerve compressed in my shoulder. I think the legs going numb is a nerve in the spine being compressed, and my hand turning purple and my arms going numb. I think that's compression in the elbow, in the shoulders, not the elbow or the wrist. I don't know. Washing my face, and something's wrong in my arm. I think it's compression in the shoulder. What else would be going on that your hand would turn purple? Like circulation, something's being cut off. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I'll talk to you later.